Hey, how's it going? This is Josh from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 43 of the Books by Josh audio immersion. This episode is titled Priorities, so let's dive in. What do I mean by priorities? Well, let me put into context. Let's talk about me. As a writer, content producer, I have to prioritize my time, as many tell me, with money making activities. Something that's going to generate a profit so I can go from the black to the green, or from the red to the black, or vice versa. So, what do I mean by money producing activities? Basically, I don't make any money off this podcast, YouTube videos, or blog contents. The only thing I get paid for is consultations, which I do sometimes, and books I actually write and publish, which means I should focus on said books, correct? Or is it? Sometimes it's not about the money making activities, it's about result producing activities. Confusing, I know. So, for me to get paid, I have to write a book. But just writing a book doesn't guarantee income. How I make an income is from the book selling. And how do I do that? There's the kicker. By growing my audience, the people who know about me. And how do I do that? It's by doing free content that doesn't pay me. The more content I make, the more people know about the site. The more people know about who Josh is, the more people buy my stuff. See? And that's the whole thing. It's about result producing activities. I know money's very important and it's going to come. But at the same time, I have to make sure I'm doing the right things to get that. So, prime example, let's talk about stocks. Say you want to invest in stocks, you don't just go out there and just buy a random stock. No, you have to do your research before you buy the stock. And unless you just randomly throw a dart at the dartboard, you're not going to do that well. Sounds stupid, but hear me out once again. Let's talk about time. Time is the most valuable thing. And how you plan your day is important. You don't have to do a to-do list, but you have to know what you need to get done that day. That's why you have to you have to have priorities in check. I messed up that word so bad. So you have to know, hey, I have to wake up early because I have to do A, B, and C. If C is more important, start with C. Do the hard stuff first, and then go to the second hardest stuff, and then A. Or you go based on the most important thing. Because take out the most important thing means the other things that are not as important you could do, and you don't have to put your whole attention there. You want to have the most important thing, you want to give it 120% of your energy. You don't want to do it last when you have no energy left and it comes out crappy. That'd be a waste of a day. And another thing, so let's go back to me, because that's the best examples I can give right now. If my plan is to read 30 books this year, up from 15 from last year, so what do I have to do? I have to read. And I have to make time every day to read. Because if I don't set out the time, it's not going to happen. So, knowing your priorities, you get to make your schedule based on that. Like I said, you don't have to use the to-do list, but you have to remember your tasks at hand. Basically, a to-do list but in your mind. So, one of the things I talk to my friends about is finding out what's most important. One of my friends is looking for a job, and that's what's most important on him. And they send them tests to see how adept he is at his functionality and how good he'll be at the job. So that's his priority. After he gets the interview, they send him this project. He has to complete it before even thinking of doing something else. And that's the most important thing, rather than taking another interview and getting bombarded with work. Why take 5 interviews without finishing one project and get stuck with 5 projects? It's stupid. And that's the whole thing. You have to live your life that way. Because if you don't prioritize, you'll never get anything done. Sounds redundant, but it's happened. To me, especially. I say, hey, I want to do this, write this chapter, but then I start doing other things and then I never get that chapter done. Which is why I start prioritizing what needs to be done, and I do that first before working on the next thing and the next thing. It's been working out, and that's basically this episode. Talk about priorities and why it's important to prioritize, because if you don't, you're not getting anything done. This episode, you might not enjoy it, but I did it. Somebody's gonna learn from it, and that's all that matters. And I'll catch you guys.